Okay, so I just primed my skin with the Versali 24 karat gold, rose gold elixir drops. And this is the oil. Obviously, I'm sure everyone's seen it. But I love this. It's so good. And I just let it set in my skin for a minute so I'm not too oily. And now I'm just putting the Benefit Professional primer just on the areas where I have my pores generally show. So my nose, right in my T-zone areas. And I'll let that sit for a second, and then we'll go in with foundation. Okay, so for foundation, I'm so excited to use this one. This is the new NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. This is my new ride or die. Oh my God, it's so good. I was saving this for so long because I wanted to do like a full wear test, a full day wear test for you. But I couldn't resist, and I've been wearing it every single day, which is crazy for me because typically, like, to work and stuff, I'll wear something that I know is gonna last me all day. And you know, I get super oily during the day, so typically I'll use like my Fenty or something that I know works good for me, or like an Estee Lauder or something like that. But honestly, this has been so good. I even have been potentially considering using this for my wedding day makeup, or foundation, or at least maybe mixing it with like one of my Estee Lauders, something that I know is like not gonna move, not gonna budge. This has actually been that good. So obviously right now I'm only gonna have it on for a little while, but you know, maybe we'll do still like a full day wear test if you're interested in seeing that. But for today, I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna use it in the shade Punjab. Okay, so I just took a little bit on the back of my hand. You'll notice with this pump, which it has a pump, thank God. Because if you don't have a pump, like, hello, what are you doing? But you'll notice with this pump, the pumps themselves are really, really small. So you end up using an awful lot of pumps. Keep saying pumps. To cover your face. But this foundation, you're able to really stretch it. The coverage is there, and you can stretch this all across your face. And I think I usually do about 2 layers, and that's good enough. Just do the face first. Just bounce that in. As you can see, I haven't really done this area yet, and this is only just 1 layer. It's very luminous, like it says. Of course, after I set it and stuff it, I mattify it because I get super oily throughout the day. But it's really pretty. Alright, so I'm just going to pop on a little bit of Shape Tape. I did my brows quick off camera. Okay, just going to blend that out. That one was in the shade Light Sand. Usually I do light natural, but lately, because they've been a little bit tanner because of summer, not today, sometimes it's not light enough, so I go in between these two. Down the nose. Under the eye. And I use this sometimes just to set the lid for shadow. I do a lot of eyeshadow primers. I love my MAC Paint Pot. I also love the NARS Radiant Concealer. Actually the pot, whatever the pot is called, I use that one to set a lot. But honestly, Shape Tape works great too. Just neutralizes the lid. That's good. Right, now I'm just setting all those spots where I get super oily, especially the nose area. Honestly, no matter how much powder I put on my nose, like 3 hours, 4 hours from now, I'm so shiny, and it's just me. Nothing I can do about it. That I am fearful of because I'm gonna do my makeup for my wedding. And it's like when you do makeup, obviously you don't want anyone else doing your makeup because you're just like, no. but I don't know what I'm gonna do about my nose. I don't know, and I don't want to do too many layers to make it look cakey, so we're gonna figure this out. But anyway, obviously you need to set under your eyes. So to prevent creasing, just using a dry beauty blender to prevent or to apply my foundation, I used a damp blender. You can just use any powder you'd like. For right now, I'm actually using a drugstore powder right now. Obviously, you know I love my Laura Mercier or my Kat Von D. Those are my favorites, really. My Laura Mercier, I pretty much use every day. But if you're looking for something inexpensive, this is drugstore Airspun. Everybody knows about it. Works really, really well. It's definitely not as finely milled as like a Laura Mercier or something like that, but it does the job and it looks really, really nice. And this is in Naturally Neutral. There is a translucent one, but it's almost like a pinky tone, which is so bizarre to me. So you definitely want to get the Naturally Neutral. This is more like white. And so we're just gonna set under the eyes, sides of my nose. I get oily. My nose itself, I get this little crease right here now that I'm like 28. That's a new thing this year. A little crease there under my eyes, my chin, and then right here. And then I'm going to set the rest of my face with my foundation powder, but you don't want to put too much powder on top of powder. So mainly I just use this in my areas that I really need it. Alright, I'm just going to buff away a little bit of that powder. The only areas I'm going to really keep it is just under my eyes for right now. This is just an E41 Morphe. And then I just use my IT brush, so it's smaller, gets right in these areas. I'm just gonna leave this setting powder again under my eyes for right now, in case there's any fallout. Just wanna do something really light, soft, and I don't know, summery. I kind of really just want to use that. There's like one shade in that new Dose of Colors palette. I keep saying new. It's not new, but it's new, but mostly new to me. I'm so excited to use it. It's like this bright, like hot orangey, like pinky amazingness, and I can't wait to use it. So I'm gonna just jump into the Jaclyn Hill palette just to pull out just a transition shade in here that I like. It is the third cream shade in from the top. I'm just looking at the back to see. I think it's called Silk Cream. And then I'm going to jump probably down here into Butter. Oh, excuse me, wrong direction. These two. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. But anyway, I'm going to just jump into this guy right here and just pop that into my lid all the way across. As a transition, this is the M504 brush. I'm just gonna build it up. I like the color because it's like pretty close to my skin tone or my foundation shade, so it's not too deep because I want this to be like summery and light. I don't really want to go for like a smoke or anything. I just really want to show off that bright color. Like I have a vision in my head, which is popping that color right in the center of the lid. Nothing dramatic. Who knows? We'll see if it works. Okay, so now I'm gonna just jump into this shade right here. Same thing, it's a little bit more like, I don't know, a little bit more peachy, terracotta. It'll pick up a little bit more on my lid, 'cause I don't have that much of a peachy tone. Okay, see, it's all about taking your time, blending and building. Now I'm going to go in with those same shades on the lower lash line. Usually I do the lower lash line last, but you just wipe away a little of that bake right directly underneath my eye. I'll leave it down here for now. But for the sake of keeping this really simple, I'm gonna just go ahead and pop that shade under. I don't know about anybody else, but I have severe watery eyes. Like, I don't know what the deal is. It's only when I apply shadow. So I have to be so careful, and I'm not going out after this, so that's why I'm kind of like not really caring. But it's just on the bottom lower lash line. Like, it's usually like that one corner, and once it starts, it like the floodgates open and it just doesn't stop, and it's so annoying. I hate it. And then you get like this little watermark and it wrecks your everything. Anyway, if it happens, it's okay because I'm staying inside tonight. I guess that's the moral of the story. Okay, so I'm just going into R38. It's a little bit more tapered blending brush, but I'm literally using the same exact two shades. In fact, I'm just going into that little bit deeper one. And look, just because it's more tapered, the brush, and it's just like a little bit more, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, I can't think. Just more tapered brush, it's more like dense. So, because it's able to pick up more product and kind of be more of a packer, it makes the product actually go on looking more dark, which it's not obviously darker because you saw I just put it all over my lid, but it's able to place it more packed down so it looks a little darker. So it's all about the brushes. Gotta use different brushes to get kind of the look you're achieving. It's like an artist. Gotta have the right tools. Okay. Now, what I've been waiting for. This is the Dose of Color Sassy Siennas palette. I dropped it the second I bought it when I came home, and I already swatched them, but I'm gonna be very careful. Lord. Okay, the plastic is still on. It's probably better to have it on for safety reasons because this is in pieces in the middle. Okay, I'm gonna hold it like this. So, as you can see, I don't know if it's the glares, whatever, let's just take this off. You get, I'm holding the middle shade in right now. You get a dark brown, you get a maroony, you get this really pretty light brown, you get this really pretty peach, and it's like a burnt peachy orangey, I don't know, goodness. Okay, oh my god, it's falling out everywhere. I'm gonna go in with the brush that it actually came with. Normally, I'm not a fan of brushes in palettes. They tend to be pretty cheap, but this one looks like a nice one. The shade I'm gonna go in with is called Bossy. It's that really pretty peachy shade that I was just talking about. So we're just gonna take a little bit on the flat end of this brush. Woo! Coated the brush really nicely. This is quite pigmented. And I didn't lay down any concealer to like cut the lid or anything like that. I'm just gonna test the pigment of this and just see how it performs over top of this transition shade. And I just wanna pop a little in the center of the lid. I want this to be effortless and just really something you can do quick for summer. So let's see, this side. Ooh, she's pretty. Ooh, that is such a pretty color. Wow. It's like going on really well for not having anything underneath it. No concealer or anything. And this brush isn't bad. Wow, that's really pretty actually. I mean, imagine if I had laid down concealer and cut my lid. So it had like, you know, just a really nice base to work with. And it wasn't trying to compete for colors. This would be so nice. But I did want to just try it. Oof. We got fallout, sister. Under my eyes. I don't want that color down below. so I'm just packing this on the center, and then I'm going to go back in with my transition shades on the sides to kind of blend it all in together. Just going back in with that transition shade on the sides to blend it all in. With that R38, and then in this inner corner, I'm just going to go in with this Sephora brush. Fortunately, it's not labeled, but it's super skinny. Just to get in here nicely. And it's got such a fine point that it works so good right here in creating that arch. Anyway, this is like a super simple look, really. It took like no effort. You're just plopping that bright color on the center of the lid. You do it with any color with like a nice transition shade, but super cute for summer. I mean, if you really wanted, you could take it through and drag that through your lower lash line. I'm not going to, because I'm not in the mood to be too bright. But I think that it would be super cute too. I'm just going to keep that warmth going under the eye. I just want it to be like kind of like bright but sultry. Not like too like crazy. Now I'm just going in with the M213. It's so fine, the end. And I'm going to go in with that middle shade here. It's like the light brown. It's called Foxy. And I'm literally just tapping it into my lash line. I'm not going to draw like a line for liner. I'm just literally gently tapping it into my lash line. So it just casts a shadow to fill in your lash line. Even if you don't do falsies, it's really good to do this because it helps fill out your lashes. And it gives the illusion of, you know, fuller lashes. And creates like a band there. And if anything, it just, like I said, makes your natural lashes look fuller. And you're not creating like an eyeliner line, like something really dark. This is just super natural looking. Okay, so we'll come back to the eyes in a minute. I'm just gonna put this foundation powder on my face. This is just a drugstore powder, which I really like. It's super cheap and it works really well. I do like the Chanel foundation powder, and I do like the Charlotte Tilbury. Those are also my other two favorites. But if you want a dupe that's really, really inexpensive, this is the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin. I do this in the color, sorry, something's stuck on my nail, 25 Nude Beige. This is just an IT brush that I use to get around all these crevices. And I just use a kabuki for the face, the neck. And this just sets the skin. It neutralizes the color. Obviously the bake is all wiped away at this point, and now we're ready to contour. Generally I do, oh, I gotta fix my brow. Yeah, and this is when I go back and just touch up a couple parts of the brows. Like sometimes the things get little, or the lines get uneven from being wiped away by hitting it with a brush. Okay. And the tails sometimes get lost. They look good. I'm gonna contour with, usually I use Hoola. I do have a new contour palette that I've been working with, but I'm going to save it for another video. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna just use Hoola right now, and then just to outline my contour, since it's a little cooler toned, I'm going to use my Morphe R10. I'm gonna grab some of that setting powder, my Airspun. Whoops, wrong color. It is, I always wonder sometimes about how much powder I inhale every day. Can that be safe? Woo! Woo! Sorry. Okay. Dave's laughing at me. I'm just gonna do what I do every day. Like every day. If you're not contouring every day, girl, what's going on with you? Come on. Takes 10 pounds off the face. Let's go. I don't care how skinny you are. So this helps keep my contour shades from sliding down while I'm applying my color, and it helps from, if your brush gets slipped up or whatever, it doesn't go below your cheekbone, it doesn't go where it's not supposed to go. Some people use too big of a brush, like something crazy like this, to try to like bronze their face or contour, and then you end up with contour down here and you look all crazy. So that's not what we're going for. So I'm going to use a tapered brush. This is my R10. This is my favorite brush for contouring as of right now. I usually go between that and, I've showed it before, this It brush. I do have more control though with the R10. So we're going to start right here and just get it right inside the cheekbone. Right there. And see how you line up perfectly with your bake. And this, again, the bake prevents it from dropping too low. And it keeps that line so cut and edged up. That's how you contour. I'm just going to take it up a little bit on the sides of my temples. I don't have a big forehead. I have a really nice normal size forehead. I wouldn't say it's small. It's normal. It's good. I'm happy with it. Thank you. Thank you, God. So I like to contour just a little bit at the top, right at the center, because I do, since I've gained weight, obviously, which I'm dealing with trying to lose right now, my face is a little bit more rounder than I would like, so I just like to keep my contour right at the top here, and then I slim it on the sides. And then I just make sure these are super sharp. And then most importantly, my jawline. A lot of people I'll see that they'll just contour their cheeks and then just throw a little bit of bronzer up top. What's the point if you're not going to do your jawline? Your jawline is, you know, where you got this going on. You want to cover any just shadows you don't want. You know, I mean, might as well just like look super good all the way around, right? So again, this is just with the cool tone. We're just outlining and just creating those natural shadows where we want them to be to conceal things. Okay, so now that we've outlined our contour, sorry I keep looking down, I'm just trying to like grab stuff and look at this mirror. So now that our contour is outlined here with the cooler tones, we're going to go in and bronze the skin up. You can just use Hoola too. I mean, you could stop here, that's fine, whatever works for you, but it's summer and I do like to have like that little bit of like a warmer glow. So right now I've been using the new palette that I was talking about, which I'll show you in another video. I'm waiting on that. And then I've been using my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzers. I have this one in, where is it? This is the regular Chocolate Soleil, the matte bronzer. This has been out for a long time. This was a favorite of everyone's. Such a good, nice, warm color. And then this is the new Chocolate Soleil Gold. This has gold flecks in it, reflex in it. A lot of people don't like sparkle. I was always one to say, like, don't really use like a sparkly bronzer. It can be a little too much, and then it can kind of like, if you do it in the wrong areas, it's not going to look good, and then you want to do a highlight too. Like, you just don't want to have sparkle on the wrong areas. So since it's summer, I'm okay with using it, and typically I'll just use it like up in this area where I do want to cast a little bit of reflection in the sun, kind of sometimes on my cheekbones over my contour where I would normally put my highlight, but that's pretty much it. As far as like the jawline, I will just use the matte, and I don't always use this. This is just if I'm like kind of feeling like, oh, maybe I'm going to be outside and I'm going to have a lot of reflect or whatever. So for right now, I think we're just going to use the matte. So I went in with that a little bit more tapered brush before to do my contour, the R10. Now I'm going to go in with the R2. This is much fluffier. It's still got that nice dome shape. It's tapered. But what I love about this is that it's fluffy enough to buff out what I just created and kind of just blur out the line so it's not so defined and it looks more natural, but it's not too big like something like this that's going to totally just blow apart what I just created. So this is going to still stay within my shape of my cheek. It's not too big and puffy, and it's just going to, like I said, just blur everything together and fade it together because it's just so poofy and nice. If any of that makes sense. It just kind of blends all my edges nicely, whereas the other one kind of defined it and cut it, and this blends it nicely. And then when you get to here, you do want to connect these two lines. It's kind of like a giant 3 if you think about it like that. But I'm keeping the bake there for right now. Again, just so I don't get crazy and then lose that area that I want to keep nice and only with my foundation shade. I just only want to outline down here. And look at, make sure you get right here under your chin. If you got a double chin going on, you gotta hide that. Always bring it down the neck. That's why I make sure when you bring your foundation down the neck, you make sure you set your foundation first with either a foundation primer or Airspun or something, because you don't want, by the time you get your bronzer on it, to smear, because your bronzer will look so streaky and gross. So you want to make sure it's nice and matte and dry when you bring it down your neck. Because no, we're not fooling anybody with bronzer. And then lastly, we're going to contour my nose. You don't want to use a bronzer shade like what I was just showing you for your nose, because that's too just warm. It doesn't look nice. You want to use a cool tone like a hula. Here's a little baby hula, which I like to pull this out to contour my nose. Same shade. Oh Lord. Same shade. There she is, back in the pan. I'm using a 205. This is a Sephora 205 brush. Light hand. And always build it back up just to contour my nose. And I like to take it up into the eye socket. And the cool tones just look nice. It just has that natural cast of a shadow. You can see. It looks natural. It just kind of accentuates where the light would capture your nose. Nothing crazy. And then I'm just going to go back in there with that foundation powder. I like to just put it on the sides of my nose until it's a little bit brighter to help emphasize that. And then I usually come back up and around these areas to help ombre it all in. And now, wipe the bake off with it. Alright, I just popped on some lashes. I have never worn this style. If I go for drugstore lashes, it's Ardell. Normally I wear bold face lashes. This company, this is online based only. And honestly, these are the best lashes I've ever worn. They have serious drama ones and glamour ones, and then they have nice ones like this. This is the style Lashes for Days. This is my favorite one. They're super long and curly. But anyway, these are drugstore. They're called Salon Perfect, and they are Go Glam multi-pack. I don't know. They're wispy. They're super pretty. I don't hate them. They definitely look fake. They don't look like mink or anything. I don't really like the styles that crisscross. I didn't realize that this was. I didn't really pay attention. I just saw that they looked a little wispy, but they're all right. And then this is the Flower Beauty blush in the shade Peach Primrose. I kept it more peachy rather than pinky because of the eye color. And I also like to apply my blush more towards the sides, where my contour is. Some people like to apply it in the front right here. I try not to, just because when you have like a rounder shaped face like I do right now, it kind of emphasizes the roundness. So then I'm going to just pop in a little bit of Amazing Anastasia highlight. So this is what I've been loving right now. So freaking God good. So good. Just do a little bit here. A little bit on the ball. Then I'm going to go in with this little teeny tiny brush. This is an Anastasia brush. I'm just going to a little bit down the center. And this is the thing, you gotta use a small brush when you're doing this. Otherwise you defeat the purpose of your nose contour. I hate when people go in with a big fluffy brush and they're like right down the whole bridge of your nose with highlight, and then you don't emphasize what you wanted to emphasize. So I don't bring this all the way down. I just kind of go right here, and then just the teeniest dot on the tip of the nose, just to kind of pull it all in together. How cute is that? And then a little bit on the inner corner. Make the eyes pop. Very little bit up here because I want my brow bone to pop. A little on my Cupid's bow. That'll do. And then I'm gonna I forgot, I wanna just put a little deep in the bottom of my lip because it makes it more pouty looking. And then I'm gonna apply the new chocolates, the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick. This is in the shade 844 Sweet Tooth. This is the perfect nude shade. I'm not totally in love with this formula. I see a lot of mixed reviews. I know Tati recently reviewed this and she's like obsessed with it. I don't get it, to be quite honest. It goes on gorgeous at first and it feels so good. And she said that, at least in her experience, it dried down for her. It never dries down. It's tacky all day. When you eat, it's the weirdest thing. It kind of like, it stays on like a tar, like a paste. Like this shit doesn't come off. It stays on. Even when I wash my face at night, I have a hard time getting it off. But it's like the underneath is like almost literally like a tar. That's the best way I can explain it. The prettiest part, the nude shade, comes off when you're eating and you get this like gummy, tarry stuff stuck to you all day. But if you don't eat and you just don't eat for the day, this is a great lip gloss. And the color, the nude shade, is absolutely perfect. It smells like chocolate. It smells like brownie batter. Oh my god. It's so good. And I love the applicator. It's kind of like a doe foot. It really is like so good for putting this on, so you don't really need a lip liner. See what I'm saying? The color is on point. And it's so like glossy and buttery and just good, like right now. But tonight when I try to take this off, Lord. So good. I'm going to use, actually I'm not going to use my all-nighter because I don't want to waste it right now because I'm not going out. I'm going to use my L'Oreal Infallible Setting Spray, which honestly is a good dupe for your Urban Decay. So good. I like having something near me like this to dry my face. That helps speed it up. So this is the finished look. I hope you like it. I really just wanted to come on here and just sit and kind of chit chat with you and let you know where I've been and try out that new shade in the Dose of Colors. palette, the Sassy Siennas. It's so pretty. It ended up being more of a informational video with my powder contour routine. So I don't know, we'll see what we title this as. But anyway, I think this color is so pretty. I really love the palette. I did actually go back and apply a little bit more of that brown underneath. The brown performed really well too. They're really, really pigmented. There is some fallout, but I really love that palette. They make two other ones, I think. One's more like warm tone browns, and then the other one, I can't think of off the top of my head, it might be like more cool tones, but these are really cute and I really like them. Definitely be grabbing that again. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.